Hey everybody, welcome back to my shop for another flea market find segment. And this is again another machinist tool pick that actually took place. This happened at a shop that actually specializes in used machinery. They cleaned out a large machine shop. They're actually still in the process of doing that. And they had already started to bring some of the items from that machine shop to their facility in the city. And they advertised some stuff on Facebook. I made a call. I decided to go out there and take a look, and I bought quite a bit of stuff. So let's dive right in. First item I purchased was this right here. I got for $10, which is broken, but it's got some potential to it. And what it is it's a Reliant brand Intercheck. It's a bore gauge, made in England. Not familiar with this name, but you can see it's got like this pistol grip deal here. And the problem with it is the indicator is broken, so it's not just the crystal, it actually does not want to work at all. So I was thinking, well, okay, that's not really worth repairing, or is it? And then I thought about it and I realized, well, chances are if it's like a lot of these bore gauges, it's just a matter of removing this indicator and putting another indicator in there, and it might work perfectly fine. And the other thing it's got going for it is it actually has several of these different sized attachments to do different sized bores. Now, normally there'd be a chart that would be with this, and it would explain what which ones you use to do what range. Maybe it's actually marked on these. Yeah, it is. So like this is quarter inch to 5/16. And the other possible issue is like this one right here, it does not want to move. But that doesn't look like rust in there. That actually looks like the goop that they put on there to protect it from corrosion. So this might be worth actually fixing up. And like I said to him, I said for $10 I'll take a chance on it. Next up, I snagged this this item right here for $25. The guy whose machine shop this was, he clearly was a frequenter of auctions. So a lot of the stuff that I bought from this company came from his machine shop, and he bought it at auction. And then who knows where it came from originally before that. So there's no telling how many hands this has gone through. But here's a nice brown and sharp, it says precision center, but what it is it's a nice bench micrometer. I believe this also had, no, it's a little sticky, but it actually seems like it might be okay. And it's kind of got a lot of wear here. This coloration here that's supposed to be uniform is all kind of worn off in this area right here. But it moves freely. Kind of a neat piece. Next item I bought was this tri-mic right here. This is a brown and sharp tri-mic, which is, it's a precision bore micrometer. So the way this works is when you rotate this up here, it will, through a cam action, it will push out these three arms right here on the inside of the bore. The idea behind these is you would have a ring, precision ring, that you would use to set this, and then that would be your reference, and then you could use it to compare to a bore you were measuring. These are normally pretty expensive. I ended up getting this one for $20 because he didn't value this one as much because it has a kind of a weird thing going on here with the, when you turn this, it feels kind of weird. So I don't know, but it does seem to be going out. See if I back this way off, if these will go back in. They do, they're just very stiff. So it's going to need a little bit of service. And this next item I got for $15, which is it's a George Shear dresser. So it says Magna Blocks, BLOX, made in the USA, George Shear Company. Later became Shear Tomiko. There's a little catalog in there with it. All kinds of different stuff in the catalog. But what this is this is a diamond wheel dresser. So there's a diamond, industrial diamond right here mounted, and it's got this precision machine base. And I'm guessing you would put this down on your mag chuck on your surface grinder, and then it has this ability to just kind of swing like this. So somehow you would use this to dress a radius on your grinding wheel. But what's weird is usually the ones I've seen that can do this, usually there's like a knob that you would turn to actually control this. This just kind of like swings like this, so I'm not quite sure exactly what the deal is there. Maybe there's a picture in the catalog here. Well, there it is. It's the Little Wonder radius dresser right here. And you can see the guy's just using his hand to move it back and forth. And the funny thing is, on this page, there's the Magna blocks. It's actually a set of 2 parallels and 2 V blocks, the laminated type for use on a mag chuck. So that's what's supposed to go in this box, is those blocks. And instead somebody stuck this in there. Also note that this dresser was $47.50 in the catalog here, but I have no idea what year this catalog is from. It's got to be pretty old though, because they were also a distributor of many other things. So this is a research metallograph made by the American Optical Company, and that's got a real 1960s vibe to it, doesn't it? Well, searching online, I can't even find a picture or any reference to an American Optical metallograph. But I did learn that a metallograph is basically a special type of microscope, which makes sense because American Optical was a optics company. Yeah, I was just looking online, and I see quite a few of these up for sale on eBay, and they are in the box that says Magna blocks on it. So I think that this dresser also qualifies in the Magna blocks family of items, I guess, that this company made. So for that reason, I'm going to keep those two together. Normally I stay away from these Starrett verniers because they tend to be usually priced pretty high, but I snagged this beauty for $15. So pretty good deal. It's got engraving on it over here, which is unfortunate, but otherwise it's a model 123. These are very reliable measuring instruments, and in the proper hands they can be very accurate. Here's a Mitutoyo bore gauge I got for $10 as is. A lot of this stuff had issues or was broken. And I think the reason why is because I think he bought a lot of this stuff at auction. And what happens is when a machine shop goes out of business and the auctioneer decides to sell off stuff, they pull out everything that was in the back room, everything that was under the bench that had long since been, forgotten about or obsoleted or whatever, but that the owner of the company just couldn't bring themselves to just throw out. Or maybe they thought they were eventually going to get it repaired or whatever. So this, I believe, actually does seem to still function properly. I think the main issue with this one is it's just missing some of the accessories here. Next, I got this Etalon bore micrometer for $20. It's a 2.4 to 2.8 range according to the box here. I've actually never seen one this style. It's actually very clean other than being engraved. Etalon is Swiss, for those of you who aren't familiar with the name. But it's got kind of a neat design to it. So it's kind of hard to feel it, but these actually do move out when you rotate this. And this actually doesn't feel bad at all. This has got like a friction stop on it there. It's not like the other ones. Yep, 2.4 to 2.8, 531B. And then this little box here actually has two smaller ones in it, and I got the pair for $25. This is a 1.4 to 1.6. And this little guy here is a, I'm not sure what the range is on this one. So I always tell myself I'm not going to buy any more height gauges because I just have too many of them now. They don't sell well. I've got them piling up all over the place. And so what do? I buy another one. But I couldn't resist this beauty right here. I got this for 10 bucks. It's an early brown and sharp height gauge. And I've never seen one like this with this super narrow base on it. Look at that, how narrow that is. So I just thought that was kind of cool. Clearly marked brown and sharp manufacturing. Up here, it looks like it was engraved. Well, that's interesting. It's engraved up here, brown and sharp inspection department. So I've never seen that before. I have not been able to find a page dedicated to vintage brown and sharp machinist tools. You can find plenty of pages for Starrett collectors and other different names, but I'm kind of shocked that I couldn't find one on, I'm talking about Facebook groups. Couldn't find one specifically for brown and sharp. I did find some for just like vintage tools. Even the little clamp and the scriber was still in there with it. I can't help but think that this is kind of unique. It says number 1 over here. It's missing a couple of the pins and the hinges on the box, but at least they're not completely broken yet. Brown and sharp. And again, items that I just buy because they catch my fancy and I may end up never getting rid of. This thing is marked Swedish gauge, and that's actually what's in here. Something called the, it says right here, it says it's sold by the Swedish Gauge Company. But notice the name down below, Johansson Gauge Company, a division. So the Swedish Gauge Company must have been a division of the Johansson Gauge Company, which Johansson is the one who's credited for making Joe blocks, the original high precision gauge blocks that Henry Ford was so impressed with their accuracy that he cut a deal with Johansson to become the American distributor for these things. So this is some sort of gauge that I'm not quite familiar with exactly what it's supposed to or how it's supposed to work. And it comes with extra rods here, almost like a bore gauge would. Clearly marked here, Swedish Gauge Company. And we get 3 little points right here. And if I push on the center one, the 2 needles will move. So it's almost like a go, no-go type of needle setup here. I'm not sure exactly how that's supposed to work. I just thought it was kind of cool, so I told the guy, I said, hey, you know, if you want to take 10 bucks for that, I'd be interested. And some other people had already come through and looked at stuff, and I guess nobody had bothered even taking a second look at this thing, so I said, you know what, I'm going to take a chance on it, just because I think it's kind of neat. I got this index set for 10 bucks. So what this is I've actually got a couple of these. I don't know why I buy them. So back in the day when you had like jig boring machines and stuff like that, oftentimes there would be a V trough in front of the table, and there would be stops that you could set on that. And what you would do is you would lay these rods like this in that trough, end to end, collectively, to get close to the measurement that you wanted to set the stops at, and then you would use these micrometer, almost like micrometer heads, to dial up exactly where you wanted to be and set your stops. And then I think the idea of why you would have 2 is, I think, see, this one's black and this one's red. I think it was almost like a go, no-go setting that you could set your tolerance. Only cost me 10 bucks. Kind of a neat piece of history there. Not sure. It's got a nice, beautiful box, you know. And kind of a neat label on the inside there. Index Precision Tools, Index Machine and Tool Company of Jackson, Michigan. Oh, I just noticed these are Lufkin micrometers. So the micrometer heads are made by Lufkin. I'm not sure if this company makes the other parts, or maybe they just put it all together in a box and, you know, call it their own. I got these two moldy oldie Starrett inside micrometer sets. I got the pair for 35 bucks. So the cases are really, really, you know, kind of beat up. And these things have been around for quite a while by the looks of it. But you know what? I mean, I'm into these for $17.50 a piece, even though there's some light rust on here. Still, you know, it's not frozen. Still probably still plenty accurate enough. Probably still. It is probably plenty accurate enough for most home hobbyist guys. And they might have an inside micrometer set, you know, that only goes up to a certain length, and this one here definitely is a larger set. You even got a couple of the spacers here. Looks like a spacer that's on there too, yeah. That's probably the better of the two just because the case is nicer. This one, the case is falling apart. Similar set. And I got this interesting little gauge block set made in Germany. Thought it was kind of cool. These round gauge blocks. I actually found a couple random loose gauge blocks in a pick a while back. And there were one or two of these gauge blocks were in that pile. And I had never seen these before. And now here I come across an entire complete set. They are Van Kuren Company of Watertown, Massachusetts. So I think I just said German. I think it just sounded German to me, but I apologize if your surname is Van Kuren and you're not German and you don't like being called German. I apologize in advance. But they just seem like they're really nicely made. They almost look like they're nice enough that they could ring. Oh, they do. So, for those of you who don't know, the process of ringing gauge blocks is to actually push them together and give them a twist, which will get all of the air molecules out from between the two surfaces. And because there's such a fine micro finish, they'll actually stick together. And it's not magnetic. It has nothing to do with magnetism that's doing that. So it's kind of a cool way to check and see whether or not you have a really good finish on your gauge blocks. I kind of find myself in love with this set. I might end up keeping it. I don't know. Oh, so these gauge blocks I actually bought with a couple other items I haven't shown you yet for a total of $65. This is just a this is what we call the box of miscellaneous on my cheat sheet here. So this box with its contents I got for $10, and we got some broken indicators in here. That one actually works, but it's missing the crystal. But it's a central tool, so it's not really a value, you know, very good one. Here's another central tool. Well, that one's also missing, also working, but missing the damn top there. And this is an early Craftsman indicator that actually still sort of works. So I guess if you were really into collecting Craftsman, this might be something that you'd be interested in. Actually works pretty well. Honestly, I don't even think I paid much attention to that. Here's another central tool. A little sticky, but it works. That one still has the crystal in it. Oh, here's one of the missing crystals that fell out here. Here's a funky little tiny Singer indicator. I've never heard of that brand. Look how little this sucker is. That's a back plunge style indicator made by Singer. Just to give you an idea on the size. It's next to a quarter. But mainly what I saw in here that caught my eye was there's some decent looking jeweler's screwdrivers in here. Brand name on these is Modi, M-O-D-Y. I never heard of that. But I also just saw some of these attachments and rods and stuff, and thought, well, I could probably use those eventually. Oh, so this little round gauge block set, I mentioned that was part of another lot. That was putting together that with this Brown and Sharp height gauge, or it's a depth gauge with a little vernier. I've had these before in Starrett too. Sometimes you get just the short blade, sometimes you get the long blade. This one has both, which is nice. Not a lot of value there, but these are nice. Somebody made these custom boxes, which I'm probably going to throw out because I'm not going to want to ship those when I sell these. But it's another couple of these Brown and Sharp Intra mics. These, unlike the last ones, these actually do not make that clicking or thunking, like clunking feeling to them when I rotate them. They feel smooth, so these seem to be in better shape. So I got 2 of these with the round gauge blocks and that Brown and Sharp depth gauge there for $65. Then I found this roll of welding wire they had there. It's a full roll. It is 45 thou thickness wire. And this is wear-facing wire. So I don't know if I'm going to ever even have a use for this, but I got the roll for 15 bucks. I figured, what the heck. And then he had a whole pallet with stacks of gauge block sets in all different disarray. I mean, some of them were missing a lot of blocks. A lot of them had a hodgepodge of different blocks mixed in with each other. And some of them were actually pretty nice older blocks, but, you know, dirty as hell. I ended up picking out these 4 boxes right here, and got these 4 for 60 bucks as is. So let's take a look at what I got here. So these gauge blocks marked made in Germany. See, these say calibrated by Van Kuren Company, which is the name of that on those round gauge blocks that I thought were German. Anyways, these are kind of neat. It's a small set, and it almost has, see, I'm not sure what this is for. I know in some of these sets you have this clear block of glass in here, and it'll be what's called an optical flat, but that's not what this is. Oh, I see. So this would have had some goo in it. What would that have been for? Huh. Don't know. See, that one's clearly marked Van Kuren 1 inch. Whereas this one is unmarked. So this might have been swapped out at some point. That one's unmarked. So I don't know. I don't know what to make of it, but that's okay. I mean, I only paid 15 bucks for this set. Well, that's interesting. Look at this label. Property of Astronautic Industries, Inc. Farm Road, Marlborough, Mass. Not anymore, it isn't. So I got that box for 15. Then I put together a deal here and got these 4 for 15 each. So 60 bucks for these 4. This is not a gauge block set. This is actually a GE surface roughness comparator set. So I've had little miniature versions of these before, where you end up with just like a little card. But I've never had one like this. So kind of neat. It's got a whole chart with explanation of the different types of finishes that are displayed on here. So I thought that was kind of cool. Had to have that. This is a nice, well, this was a nice Weber set, Weber gauge blocks. And it's got some stuff going on here, some mixture, some other blocks mixed in. It has quite a few Webers still in there. Then it's missing several, and then there's even some blocks that don't belong at all in here, like these specialty blocks. It's got like a half round. Oh, this is cool. Let me finish with this. Hold on, let me get to this one first. And we're going to get this out of the way, give me some room. This is just an import block set. Workshop grade, no namers, import, probably made in Japan or China. But what this has going for it that the others don't is it is a complete set from what I can see. Now, this is cool. I've only seen one of these in a video. I've never seen one in person until I came across this one. Now, the bad news is it's not complete. What this is this is a Weber angle gauge block set. These are really hard to come by. As a matter of fact, the only time I've ever seen one, like I said, was in a video, and it was, I believe it was Keith Rucker's video. If you guys follow him, he gets all kinds of crazy stuff sent to him and finds stuff all the time everywhere. But anyways, I think he found a set like this that I think was probably much more complete than this. I think actually he bought it. That was one of those cases where he actually bought the thing. So this is kind of just this parallel on it. Looks like it fits right there though, doesn't it? This says 22nd Weber. So this is plus minus. So some of you might not know that when you take an angle and you divide it up into degrees, you can divide each degree into further divisions called minutes, and then you can take each minute, you can divide that even further into seconds. And then I don't know if there's something after that, but believe me, once you get to that point, you're really getting to some serious precision there. That's cool. Cleveland, Ohio, Weber. That's almost like a straight edge. I wonder if that goes in this set. I believe it does. I believe it goes right here. That's a good old 45. Yeah, so I don't know how much this is missing, but I can tell you that this was probably the best find out of all of this stuff that I picked. All right, I'm going to call this video a wrap right here. In the next video, I will show 2 boxes of just miscellaneous indicators and stuff, but there's actually a lot of goodies in there that I just basically looked in the top of the box, kind of saw a few things that interest me, and made an offer that was accepted on both boxes. So we'll dive into those boxes in the next video. So I hope you liked this video. If you did, please hit the like button. If you're not already a subscriber, please consider subscribing. Take care.